Imagine walking into a crowded room. Maybe it's a huge networking event or like one of those really busy open plan offices.
Oh, yeah, the worst.
Right. And feeling completely exhausted before you've even spoken to a single person.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't done any actual physical work, but your brain is secretly trying to process all the shifting moods, the hidden tensions, and just the sheer volume of data circulating in that space.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It is the ultimate modern hazard of mental overload. And, you know, if you are the kind of person who is constantly absorbing new information, always hunting for context, and trying to make sense of a really complex world, this phenomenon can leave you feeling just completely scattered.
It really is a modern epidemic, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we have unprecedented access to information right now.
Which is great, obviously.
It is wonderful, yeah. But the side effect is that we are highly informed and, well, entirely ungrounded.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you generate all this high vibrational, fast-paced mental energy, and we have absolutely nowhere to put it. We're just buzzing all the time.
Buzzing and burning out. And that is exactly the mission of today's deep dive.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at a really specific, very ancient antidote to all of that modern chaos. We've actually pulled together a fascinating stack of material for you today.
We really have.
Yeah, blending comprehensive crystal healing texts with some really practical methodology from an expert named Rob, from Crystals by Rob.
Right.
Together, we're exploring the physical and metaphysical profile of a stone called silverleaf jasper. And it's funny, some of the texts actually describe this stone as a safety net for the soul.
I mean, I think safety net is a helpful starting image, you know. But if we really want to understand the mechanics of this stone, I'd almost reframed it as a grounding wire.
Oh, a grounding wire, okay.
Yeah, because the safety net catches you when you fall, right? But a grounding wire prevents the electrical system from frying in the first place.
Right. That's a good distinction.
It allows you to run all that high-voltage intellectual and emotional energy through your system safely, because you know there's a fundamental channel directing all that excess down into the earth.
Okay, let's unpack this, because before we can understand how this stone acts as a grounding wire for human biology, we kind of have to look at what this thing actually is, geologically speaking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's look at the physical profile. We are essentially talking about the anatomy of a miniature fossilized forest here. Silverleaf jasper is, it's classified as a type of chalcedony.
Right, and to understand chalcedony, you really have to look at quartz.
Okay.
Chalcedony is a microcrystalline form of quartz. And that term, microcrystalline, that's actually the key to its entire personality.
What does that mean exactly?
Well, it means it's an impure form of silicon dioxide, where the crystal structures are so incredibly fine, like so tightly packed and microscopic that you literally cannot see them with the naked eye.
Oh, wow. So it's not like a clear quartz point where you see these big geometric facets on it.
Exactly. It's totally opaque and just incredibly dense.
Gotcha.
And the way it forms is what gives it that density. Silverleaf jasper develops over vast stretches of time during mineral consolidation.
Right.
You'll find it forming in these really extensive bedded deposits deep underground. Geologists find significant sources primarily in Africa and Russia.
The texts mention it pops up worldwide, right?
Yeah. Jasper deposits of varying kinds pop up in places like India, France, Germany, and the U.S. too. But the point is, it is a stone born out of immense pressure and very slow geological time.
And when it finally comes out of the earth, the visual specifics are just remarkable. Like, if you're holding a piece of silverleaf jasper, you are looking at an incredibly earthy palette.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It is. It's dominated by these deep forest greens, slate grays, and these really striking silvery white streaks running through it.
Mm-hmm.
The texts point out that it looks exactly like rough tree bark or, you know, the intricate veins of a decaying leaf.
Yeah.
Or even a miniature snapshot of a fossilized forest floor.
It really does look like a piece of the deep woods captured in stone. It's highly camouflaged.
Which I gotta say feels entirely intentional.
Oh, for sure.
It visually mirrors the deep, quiet woods. It's almost as if it's Mother Nature's camouflage, right? The stone is telegraphing its grounding purpose to you before you even pick it up.
Right.
But how does that visual representation, that density you mentioned, actually translate into its function?
Well, it translates through physics, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it is a highly dense microcrystalline structure. Silverleaf jasper is what the texts call a slow vibrating mineral.
Okay, slow vibrating.
When crystal healers talk about vibration, they're talking about the structural resonance of the mineral.
Mm.
So a clear, faceted quartz might have a fast, really sharp resonance.
Mm-hmm.
But silverleaf jasper has this low, slow, rhythmic pulse. And that slow structural vibration is exactly why it is prized as a premier tool for protection and stability.
So we have a stone born from slow geological pressure with a dense structural density that creates a slow vibrational pulse.
Exactly.
If we apply that to the human experience, it maps perfectly onto its primary metaphysical function, which is slowing down our chaotic emotions.
Yes, it acts as an absolute anchor for the nervous system.
Yeah.
The healing traditions specifically highlight its ability to cure something called emotional flightiness.
Emotional flightiness, I mean, we've all felt that, but what is the exact definition here? Is it just being distracted?
No, it's deeper than standard distraction. Emotional flightiness is that profound feeling of being unmoored.
Like you're drifting.
Exactly. You feel indecisive about basic life choices.
Yeah.
You walk into a room, like your example from earlier,
Yeah.
and you're immediately swept away by the moods of the other people there. If a coworker is anxious, suddenly you are anxious.
Oh, yeah, I know that feeling.
If your partner is angry, you just absorb the anger. You lose your own emotional center because your energetic boundaries are too porous.
Right.
You're just easily influenced by the energetic weather around you, you know?
You're acting like a sponge instead of a solid object.
Yep.
And the material indicates that silverleaf jasper dissolves that feeling of displacement, and it replaces it with a concept they call the warrior's heart.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I read that, my first thought was someone putting on armor and going into battle. But the definition here is actually much more nuanced, isn't it?
It is, yeah. A warrior's heart, at least in this context, is a state of equilibrium.
Okay.
It means you are strong enough to endure whatever external challenges are thrown at you, but you remain soft enough to maintain deep compassion for yourself and for others.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, you aren't building a rigid defensive wall to keep people out. You're building internal resilience so you don't lose yourself when people come in.
It's the difference between being a brittle pane of glass and being a deeply rooted tree. Like the glass is hard, but it shatters under pressure.
Right.
The tree bends in the hurricane, but its roots hold the ground.
Precisely. It allows you to yield without breaking.
But here's where it gets really interesting. And I do have to push back a little on this whole slow vibration concept.
Okay, go for it.
Because if you are telling me the stone has a slow, rhythmic pulse, won't that just make a busy, ambitious person feel sluggish?
I see where you're going.
Like, I have deadlines, I'm managing projects, I have a fast-paced life. How does a slow vibration actually help someone trying to survive in a hyper-competitive, fast-moving environment? Doesn't a slow stone just drag your productivity down to zero?
It's a completely logical assumption. I totally get it. But Rob's methodology addresses this head on.
Oh, really? What does he say?
The slow vibration does not slow your productivity. What it provides is a steady pulse of quiet determination.
Quiet determination.
Yeah. Rob explicitly describes silverleaf jasper as a companion stone. It is not an energetic quick fix. It doesn't give you a sudden frantic burst of caffeine-like energy.
So it's definitely not the crystal equivalent of an espresso shot.
Not at all. An espresso shot spikes your heart rate, makes you work frantically for 2 hours, and then you just crash.
True.
Silverleaf jasper cultivates patience for long-term emotional resilience. I mean, think about the most productive people you know. They usually aren't running around in a panic, right? When you operate with quiet determination, you actually get significantly more done.
Because you stop wasting cognitive energy overreacting to every tiny daily crisis.
Exactly. You are moving with deliberate purpose rather than frantic panic.
Purpose, not panic. That makes a lot of sense. So once your emotional flightiness is calmed down and you're operating with that quiet determination, the text suggests the stone can start doing the heavy lifting on the unseen architecture of your body, right? Your energetic field.
Yes. And this brings us to a really fascinating concept the healing traditions call vibrational organization.
Which honestly sounds very clinical. How does a rock organize your vibration?
Well, to understand this, we have to look at what holistic practitioners call the subtle bodies.
Okay.
If you think of your physical body as the core, the subtle bodies are the layers of bioenergetic envelopes surrounding you. So your aura, your emotional field, your mental field. Over time, as we absorb stress, that energetic envelope gets really cluttered. Silverleaf jasper works to clear stagnant or fuzzy energy from that aura. It neutralizes environmental stressors, and it specifically addresses something called geopathic stress.
Okay, let's pause there for a second. Geopathic stress. For someone who isn't steeped in crystal healing vocabulary, what does that actually mean?
Sure. In holistic architecture and healing, Geopathic stress is the idea that the Earth itself has hidden energy grid lines.
Oh, like a Mosley lines.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Subterranean running water or fault lines, things that create distorted electromagnetic frequencies.
Okay.
Add in our modern Wi-Fi signals, cell towers, and power lines, and you get an environment with a lot of invisible static.
Mhm.
If you spend too much time living or working over these distortions, it can theoretically drain your physical vitality.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? If I'm understanding this correctly, using Silverleaf Jasper is exactly like defragmenting a computer's hard drive.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah. You know when your laptop gets incredibly slow because the files are fragmented, the data is scattered everywhere across the drive, and there are a million background processes eating up your RAM?
Mm-hmm.
Using this dense, earthy stone is like taking all that scattered, fuzzy static in your subtle bodies and just reorganizing it. It puts all the loose data back into the proper folders so your biological operating system can actually run efficiently.
That is a perfect analogy. What's fascinating here is how it achieves that defragmentation. Because of its density, it acts as an earthy filter. It's actually categorized as a supreme nurturer.
Now, when I hear supreme nurturer, my brain immediately imagines someone wrapping me in a warm blanket and telling me to take a nap.
Right.
Which, again, doesn't sound very conducive to getting my work done.
Well, it's a different kind of nurturing. It's not about escaping your reality. It's about giving you the physical stamina to endure it.
Ah, okay.
By acting as a filter against all that environmental static, it stops the energy leaks.
Oh.
It provides a slow, steady recharge to your physical stamina. This makes it an absolute requirement for people whose daily lives involve constantly giving their energy away. Think of like medical professionals, teachers, parents, caregivers. It helps balance the endless act of giving with the biological necessity of receiving.
It plugs the leaks in the boat so you can keep rowing.
Exactly.
But if we're talking about defragmenting the system and plugging leaks, we have to look at where that energy actually flows in the body. We have to look at the hardware.
Right.
The source texts point to specific energetic traffic jams, giving us a very precise map. They trace the stone's influence starting from the heart, moving down to the root, and then going even deeper.
Let's follow that map, starting at the root chakra, or Muladhara, which is located at the base of the spine. Silverleaf Jasper resonates incredibly powerfully here.
Mm-hmm.
By clearing the traffic jam at this center, it provides a foundational sense of security, physical safety, and just raw vitality. To give you some context, ancient traditions associate the root chakra with the element of earth, the planets Saturn and Mars, and grounding herbs like ashwagandha and ginger.
And it makes complete sense why those specific herbs are linked to the root. Ashwagandha and ginger literally grow beneath the soil, right?
Yep.
And when you consume them, they provide warming, stabilizing, fortifying energy to the physical body. The stone is doing the exact same thing, just vibrationally.
Exactly. But depending on the specific specimen of silverleaf jasper, because remember we talked about those beautiful forest green streaks.
Oh, right, the visual palette.
Yeah. It can also provide a secondary alignment for the heart chakra, or anahata. The green hues activate the heart center, which is tied to emotional healing, self-love, and compassion.
Okay.
In the literature, the heart chakra is associated with the element of air, the planets Venus and the moon, the archetype of Archangel Raphael, and uplifting airy herbs like rose and bergamot.
But wait, how does a dense, slow vibrating earth stone work on a chakra associated with air and light floral energies? Doesn't that contradict its grounding nature?
It doesn't contradict it, it anchors it.
Anchors it.
Yeah. The heart chakra is traditionally associated with airy, sometimes flighty emotional energy. Because silverleaf jasper contains those green frequencies within a heavy quartz matrix, it acts as a localized anchor.
Oh, I see.
It takes the airy, abstract concept of universal love and pulls it down into the physical body, allowing you to turn abstract feelings into practical, loving actions.
So it stops you from just feeling compassion and helps you actually do something compassionate.
Exactly.
I really like that. But the texts say it doesn't stop at the root. This is where the stone's capability becomes highly specialized and, quite frankly, a bit esoteric. The texts claim it has a profound influence on the Earth Star chakra.
Yes, the Earth Star chakra.
According to the material, this is a crucial energetic anchor located roughly 6 to 12 inches below the physical feet.
Mm-hmm.
It acts as a permanent plug-in point to the Earth's restorative energy, and it's associated with the archetype of Archangel Sandalphon and the mythological Earth Mother, Gaia. Now, I have to challenge this concept for a second.
Please do.
If the Earth Star chakra is physically located a foot outside of our biological bodies, like in thin air or empty space beneath us, how do you conceptualize plugging into a localized point that you physically do not inhabit? How do I connect my biology to empty space?
It is definitely a conceptual leap for the skeptical mind. But if we connect this to the bigger picture of how the human brain processes reality, it actually makes total sense.
Okay, how so?
The chakra exists in your subtle energy field, not your biological tissue. Therefore, you have to use intention to bridge the gap. Rob's methodology offers a highly practical visualization technique for this.
What does he suggest?
He suggests holding the Jasper and actively visualizing thick roots growing out from the soles of your feet, pushing down through the floorboards and anchoring deep into the bedrock of the earth.
You know, even if you are highly skeptical of energy fields, I can see how that works purely as a psychological or neurobiological tool by taking 3 minutes to visualize roots going into the floor. You are actively engaging your parasympathetic nervous system. You are forcing your brain to acknowledge your physical grounding, which physically lowers your heart rate and respiration.
That is exactly the mechanism. By doing this visualization with the silverleaf jasper in hand, you are consciously creating the bioenergetic circuitry to meet that Earth star point.
Wow.
Think of it like the grounding wire on a high-voltage electrical outlet. The outlet functions perfectly fine on its own until a power surge hits.
Right.
Without that ground wire to direct the excess current into the Earth, the appliance, or in this case your brain, just fries. The Earth star is your ground wire.
Okay.
The ultimate goal of this entire chakra bridge, from the heart to the root down to the Earth star, is to allow you to remain completely heart-centered while staying entirely feet-grounded.
Heart-centered and feet-grounded, you can be deeply compassionate and empathetic without being a pushover because you have a structural anchor. It is a beautiful framework, but having mapped out all this esoteric and biological architecture, we have to bring it down to earth for the listener.
Yes, let's do that.
How do you take these high vibrational concepts and actually use them on a random Tuesday?
Well, this is where the insights from Crystals by Rob really shine, because he strips away the mysticism and distills it into a highly practical regimen. Let's start with your office or workspace.
Okay.
Rob recommends simply keeping a raw piece of silverleaf jasper on your desk. When you are facing high-pressure deadlines and the emails are just piling up, having it in your visual field and occasionally holding it helps you maintain focus. It prevents that mental scattering and emotional flightiness we discussed earlier.
What about planning and strategy? The sources mention holding the stone while writing out your long-term goals.
Yes, the goal-setting application is brilliant. Because its energy is so rooted and slow, it helps you see the realistic sequential steps needed to bring a massive vision into the physical world.
Oh.
It strips away the overwhelming, anxiety-inducing fantasy of a 10-year goal and forces you to look at the practical, immediate path forward. It asks, what is step one?
It makes the esoteric highly practical. And this practicality extends into the home, too, right? The methodology suggests placing a specimen near the foot of your bed.
Placing it at the foot of the bed helps prevent what healers call nighttime drifting.
Nighttime drifting.
Yeah, if you are someone who goes to sleep stressed and wakes up exhausted because your brain was just spinning all night, the stone acts as a nocturnal anchor.
Oh, wow.
It encourages dreams that actually offer practical, grounded solutions to your daily problems, rather than just trapping you in chaotic, stress-induced nightmares. You are letting your subconscious do productive, organized work while your body rests.
And apparently you can amplify these specific effects by combining it with other stones. Rob suggests that if you really want to boost that workplace practicality, you pair silverleaf jasper with London blue topaz. Or if you are struggling with anxiety and want to aggressively lean into that Earth Star grounding wire we just discussed, you pair it with black tourmaline or red jasper.
Absolutely. Though it's important to remember that because it acts as a dense filter absorbing all that geopathic stress and emotional static, it needs to be emptied out.
Oh, like a vacuum bag.
Basically, you have to maintain its baseline potency by cleansing it regularly.
How does one cleanse a stone like this?
The traditions recommend passing it through the smoke of white sage, placing it in a bowl of dry brown rice, burying it in the earth overnight, or charging it under a full moon.
From a practical standpoint, burying it in the dirt or putting it in dry rice makes total sense. Rice absorbs moisture and environmental impurities, and burying it in the earth literally grounds whatever static electrical charge the stone has picked up, returning it to its baseline frequency.
Exactly.
bringing this right back to you, the learner listening to this deep dive. For someone who loves gathering knowledge, who is constantly doing intellectual heavy lifting, incorporating this stone into something like a daily walking meditation is incredibly powerful.
Oh, highly recommend that.
Carrying a heavy piece of silver leaf jasper in your pocket while you walk is the perfect physical prompt to root all those high vibrational intellectual insights you gather all day into your physical body. It serves as a tactile reminder that intellectual evolution is a marathon, not a sprint. You have to let the knowledge settle into your bones.
This raises an important question about modern living, really.
What's that?
How often do we actually take the time in our daily routines to do that maintenance? We obsessively charge our phones, we update our software, we optimize our diets, but we rarely take deliberate structural steps to organize our own subtle energy or physically ground our nervous systems. We treat our minds like they exist entirely separate from our physical environment.
It's so true. We completely neglect the energetic hardware.
We do.
So let's look back at the journey we've just taken through these materials. We have explored a remarkable piece of microcrystalline quartz, forged over millennia under immense pressure that visually mimics the camouflage of the forest floor. We've seen how its physical density translates to a slow vibration that emotionally cures our flightiness, replacing porous boundaries with a warrior's heart strong enough to endure, soft enough to love.
And we've learned how it acts as a supreme nurturer, not by putting us to sleep, but by giving us the profound stamina to endure.
Right.
It defragments the static in our aura, acting as a critical grounding wire that bridges the airy compassion of the heart chakra down through the security of the root and deep into the earth star.
Which brings us back to why this matters so deeply to you right now. In an era that is almost entirely defined by information overload, by doom scrolling, by shifting algorithms, and by rapid, unpredictable change, you desperately need a framework for quiet determination. Having a tool, a physical, tangible, heavy touchstone that actively forces your nervous system to ground your thoughts is invaluable. It might just be the secret to maintaining both your worldly success and your internal peace of mind.
It's a reminder of a very basic law of nature. Your roots must go as deep as your branches go high. If you want to reach for complex knowledge, ambitious career goals, and deep spiritual growth, you need an equally profound connection to the physical earth to sustain that growth without snapping in the wind.
Exactly. And that leaves us with a final, lingering thought to mull over, inspired by everything we've uncovered today. If ancient stones like silverleaf jasper hold a physical resonance that perfectly mirrors the slow, steady, quiet cycles of nature, could our modern epidemic of emotional flightiness simply be a biological symptom of our physical separation from the ground beneath us? Think about it. We walk on poured concrete, we live and work in high-rises, we wear rubber-soled shoes, and we stare at glowing screens all day.
It's so true.
If holding a simple, slow-vibrating stone can successfully retune our entire nervous system by reminding it of the earth, what else in the natural world is quietly broadcasting the exact frequencies we've been missing?